Hello, welcome to the West Ham COYI show with me, Av Gasparo on Irons United. So, West Ham, we entered the Carabao Cup last night in the second round. We went all the way over there to Newport County and we came out victorious, and that's why it's an COYI show. Look, they've arisen from the ashes over the last few years, haven't they? They're on a 15-match unbeaten run, I believe it was, in the League Two. They've had a few cup upsets the last couple of seasons. So, for me, they're a team to be aware of. And you know what? They proved that they could create chances. And for long periods of the game, I thought they were out of it. It's almost like they had stopped playing a little bit. It was almost a little bit pedestrian for us as well. We didn't really get into top gear. But you know what? They had their chances towards the end as well. They almost came alive again. And that's when they were always dangerous, I think. In the opening few minutes, they had a couple of half-attempt crosses on goal. I thought Roberto did well, in goal, which surprised me, I've got to say. Look, I'll be honest here. He makes me feel nervous. He does. But he dealt with the crosses well. But every time he caught the ball, he made me feel nervous. The expression on his face made me feel nervous. I don't know why. But I can't fault him because he did quite well. I've been critical of Pellegrini. You know I have. Okay, I'm critical of his tactics and everything. But I think for this game, he actually got it right. He changed the personnel, almost got the second tier in, or a lot of the second tier in, of players. I thought they did reasonably well. I was surprised to see Antonio start, per se, not because of his ability. I just thought I was surprised to see him start. But then again, and I was almost wishing that he'd never started, actually, because of the injury, his hamstring that he picked up within the first few minutes. He was on a lightning run and then it just pinged, and I felt so sorry for the lad. He's going to be out, 5-6 weeks with that easily? Don't know. It could be a bit before then he'll return. So speedy recovery to him. We just didn't seem to be at the races. Our passes were pretty poor. I think Wilshere was having a poor game in the first half. Yes, I know he scored, and it was a great sort of awareness to latch onto that mistaken defence and a nice finish past the keeper. But I think he was not quite at the races. Diop, I thought, was having a poor game, especially in the first half. There were a lot of wayward passes. There were a lot of attacks that sort of broke down. We had weaknesses in defence, which they were able to exploit and put crosses in, which didn't necessarily trouble us too much, but they definitely had their chances. They probably should have scored a couple, if I'm being honest. Roberto made a great save as well, with kind of leggy things, those things down there, you know what I mean. But it just wasn't great. Look, Pellegrini set up with essentially 4 at the back, but we weren't playing 4 at the back. What we split our 2 central defenders, Diop and Balbuena. They'd come out to the edge of the 18-yard box. Sanchez had dropped into that covering role, almost Baresi-like, if you know what I mean, but I'm not going to pay him that much praise, but that kind of position. And then Cresswell, Zabaleta were actually playing on the halfway line, playing those kind of wing backs. In fact, Cresswell was very rarely, coming back. There were a lot of, I thought, hospital passes. There were a lot of short passes that weren't making the player. And this is from all players, not just, I'm not going to single out individual players here. Every time I see Sanchez play, I believe, it appears to me, for the first few minutes, or certainly half an hour of the game last night, he seemed to be almost getting the ball as close to the opposition player as he possibly could, and then making a rush pass. Or when he was passing, it was either not that accurate, or it was playing to a player that had an opposition player, Newport County player, closing on him fast. So I think the decision making on some of the passes was suspect last night. I think at times we looked nervous, but at times we were showing our class and we were outclassing them. When Anderson came on for Antonio, unfortunately, you could see that he was a class above, and the passes were being made and everything like that. But it wasn't quite working out. But then we got the goal, and it kind of settled us down a little bit. Went into half time. They had opportunities, of course. We had opportunities, but I think it was a right result. Going into half time, just about. Second half, look, they had their opportunities. Again, they had goal scoring threats, but really, for the most part, we grew into the game and they sort of withered away, really. Wilshere got better, much, much better. Anderson still plodded on, still great there. Defensively, we got better as well. Roberto was still solid at the back. We asked of him, and he delivered. He made saves. He made a couple of great saves, actually. He caught the ball. He commanded his area. I still feel nervous about him. I'm sorry. I know the haters are going to, leave in comments. And please do. I don't mind. But I feel nervous about him. I'm sorry. But, in midfield, we were doing well. Sanchez, look, he had a decent game. But alongside Wilshere, I think that combination, Wilshere is almost up front and Sanchez just plays a bit too deep for Wilshere. You almost need somebody a bit more creative, a bit more forward thinking to play alongside Wilshere to make that combination work a little bit. Snodgrass, I thought, was on the right-hand side. No, I'm not going to say he had a bad game, but again, he was suffering the same illness as everybody else. Some misplaced passes, it wasn't quite working out. But he had a few good interchanges with Zabaleta on the right-hand side. We could see we were moving the ball around. When we got the second goal, it was almost like, well, okay, we can calm down now. We can calm down. And I think that's basically what happened. We raised our game just a little bit, and then we kind of plateaued and, everything like that. There was a real risk that towards the last sort of 5-10 minutes of the game, last 5 minutes really, we were letting Newport County back into the game, and I was getting worried at one point that maybe they would nick a goal, and you know what happens with a 2-1, it suddenly becomes 2-2, and then all hell freezes over. But anyway, look, we came away with a win. It was an oi show. It wasn't an oi performance, let's put it that way. It wasn't fantastic, but it's a way to build momentum. It's a way to blood in new players or get more experience of some of the first team players, or first team squad players, I should say. It was a way of Pellegrini just trying new things. For the most part, I liked this kind of defensive setup with the right back, left back, pushed up high to press higher. The problem is, if you play that game, you've got to be on the offensive all the time. You've got to be ultra attack, because you're leaving so many gaps behind, and that you're subject to a long ball over the top, and that's it, running on. And we're dealing with a League Two side here. Whilst their game has improved and they were playing some decent football last night, we're always going to be susceptible to that kind of attack and those kind of crosses that could come in as well. But anyway, look, we won, and that's good. On to the next round, and all is well in the world. Now, you might be wondering, because I keep on looking down here, you might be wondering what all this is about. Right, this is crazy, psycho juice hot sauces. Now, for the Watford game, before the Watford game, I said that if my colleague here on Irons United, Anton, if he suggested that we would win 3-1, and I laughed in his face. I was like, no. And I said, if we win 3-1, I will eat my hat. Well, under some great duress, I felt obliged to tell everybody I feel very attached to this hat. and I really can't do it. So, but I would if I had to. And then some of the suggestions came in comments, said, well, why don't you really eat hot sauce or peppers or chili peppers, stuff like that. Another suggestion was, why don't I wear a Tottenham shirt? No. And another one was to wear a half and half scarf. No. So it really came down to the hot chili sauces. So I thought, why not? Why not? I'm not really a chili fan, hot chili sauce fan. Well, not usually. So anyway, I thought go for this hot chili sauce. Now, it's not about football, but this is paying my debts and paying off my debt. Right, so this is Psycho Habanero sauce. It's got 1X. So I would say that's not really hot, you know. Then you've got this red Savina. This is a 2X sauce. And I would say that's going to be bloody hot. Then you've got this triple X. Oh, my God. And this is scorpion pepper. Oh, dear. And then this is triple X. Oh, ghost pepper. Oh, God. Now, I would say it's going to be between these two. They're both triple X. They don't really have, I need my glasses, they don't really have any kind of strength scale on them. I don't know. Do you know what? Ghost pepper. That's what I'm going for, right? Take it all up. I've got some crackers here, by the way. Why am I doing this? Right. This is payback. Never let it be said that I will not pay my debts. Right. And that's a big blob. There we go. Big blob of sauce. Right, here we go. Right. Good luck.